This is the Logic Pro X 101 Music Producer Edition. Like I said, Logic is a program that has been around for a while. I've been messing with it for, I don't know, maybe like 10 years, and I kind of strictly just do music production in it. And for the most part, I would say it's totally kind of broken into like a bunch of synths, virtual instruments, and drum kits. Like virtual drums. So just to really get into the spiel, like what is a music producer? It's basically the person who kind of oversees the music. As far as like the sound recording and pretty much making all the overall decisions, tonality, sonic wise, and stuff like that. Which is kind of more so the engineer kind of works as the producer as well. So as far as like now, most I would say most engineers they kind of wear both titles because if you like in the studio working with an artist or like Blaze says, recording at home, you kind of are playing both roles if you're making your own music and you're engineering. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what it is. So, like I said, an introduction to DAWs, like we're talking about Logic, but other people, might use Pro Tools. Other people might use Ableton, Cubase, Reaper, like FL Studio. I mean, whatever floats your boat. Adobe Audition, you know. So pretty much everybody is in the process of working on electronic music production, or some form of like hybrid music production to where they're using like software synths with, virtual drum kits, virtual sounds from samples and, just stuff they created, like just off rip, like Jason was saying, like doing sound design. That's more sound design stuff to whereas you're like incorporating, like if I was to, like I forget forget what it's called, but where people be doing all that type of stuff. But you could tap this and create a snare and stuff like that. But once you start putting effects and stuff on it like that, now you actually creating your own sound. So like I said, it's more electronic, music production. So, and just to kind of get into Logic, hold on, let me load up the synth joint. Whatever. Anyways, I didn't mean to say that, but yeah. So, like I was saying, for the most part, Logic is made up of a bunch of synths, you know, virtual instruments as well as drum kits and virtual drums. So these are all the synths. I'm actually finna run through them just so you could kind of get a feeling for what it is, and depending on what type of sound you want, I would say, and all it, if you just have Logic, all this stuff is in Logic, so you could just pretty much load it right up. Like I said, from Alchemy to down to Sculpture. So here I'm finna switch this one, then load this Logic. So for the most part, Alchemy, I would say, really to me is my favorite like synth that Logic has, just cause it's you know it's it's pretty much like it's definitely processor heavy, but for the most part it's definitely like it's a beast. Like, depending on what type of sound you want, cause I don't know, can y'all see the plug-in or do y'all just see the Logic screen? Like I don't know if you could type in the chat. I don't know. Okay, cool. So with this plugin, I don't know if you see down in here where it says Bright Synth, Epic Synth, and this is just the default patch that it comes on as soon as you load it. I'm happy it's not distorted, but say I just hit a little chord. That's the bright synth. So with with these you could basically just bring, this up. There it goes. It's definitely data heavy, but you can make arpeggios. I won't get too into it, but I'm gonna bring that back down. But say you could take that, that's a bright synth. Now this is an epic synth. And I'm just, moving the thing, as far as like switching from between the little presets of the performance mode. This is a swell. If you want like a paddish kind of sound. Well, not like a pad, but more like a. Now this is the actual pad. And like I said, we haven't even went into the sounds. Like this is a synth plug. This is a minimal ARP. Yeah, they ARPs is is data heavy. So it's gonna be a lot of popping. But but you could kind of just create your sound. Yeah, I hate that. Alright. I'm gonna just click on the sound, but it's kind of broken into categories and stuff. So if say you looking for a specific type of sound, like if you're looking for like a urban sound, you could just pick urban and just kind of go through here and search. Like this is their analog funk bass. I don't know. Okay. All right. Sounds pretty warm, you know what I'm saying? But then you also have these to where it's doing the same thing. Like, so now it's, I guess, bringing out that O more in the bass, like the ball, and then like a mono delay. But these are just the effects that are on here. And that's what I'm saying. You could just be, obviously, what's the name is messing up. But straight out the box, you could, you got like some nice sounds. And then once you go over here, like you could actually, if you look, this is the cutoff, this is the resonance, this is the crossfade, AB, this is C, it's kind of more on the XY axis. So, excuse me, it's giving you like, a nice sound. Then even if you want to just switch to a whole different sound, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I actually like it because it's different, and then you could kind of really control the sound as far as like making the sound just totally different from, like if I, yeah, 'cause that don't sound right here. I'm gonna just go back out of here and just go to something. Let's click off the urban, click off that. Then, like I said, you just kind of go in and just pick something. Say I pick soundtrack, and then just go down and pick sunshine through clouds. Like you was saying, the pop songs, you could easily, that's sound like a pop. Like I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, you could easily, and then just go into here, you could make it bright. Wow, okay. And I'm just switching through the things, I don't know if y'all mess with it, but like I say, I love Alchemy. I'm just playing the same keys that I was just playing for the, But yeah, like I say, I won't get in this all day because I'm definitely over here having fun. But yeah, I would say the next one, I mean, the PowerPoint would say it, but the EFM1, it's a FM synthesizer. So with this one, hold up, that sculpture. So with this one, like I said, these synths is more like I say, it's more a acquired taste of sound, but it's more like a lot of ambient stuff and basses and obviously like leads and stuff like that that actually add the texture to the songs that that we all know that are great. So like I said, it's just really kind of going in and just moving a couple of knobs. Like I said, I like the pads on here, kind of not this one because it kind of sounds real tweaky, but I like this pad. But then just going into the sounds, you got your frequency modulator right here. So if even with that sound that I didn't like, the metallic stars, I could actually add stuff in it to kind of make it, what I'm saying, something that I would like. Take stuff out, messing around with the cutoff, but like, this is just another synth that they have that really, it has like a specific sound. Like I don't know if y'all mess with synths, but like I say, they're real specific, definitely as far as like, you know, uh let's see, like plucks and stuff. Like it depends on what you're trying to do as far as a production, but to make it just a hit, and you got your modulation envelope, your attack, sustain, decay, and release, you know, and you really controlling how the sound is, you know, the resonance, you know. But like I said, with these, this is really just kind of tailoring the sound to make it sound specifically how you want, like, because you might not want all that extra drum up in there, so you might have to dial it out, turn it into like a pluck. Then, I mean, obviously we can get into EQ and stuff like that, but this is just kind of creating the sound. And with these, it's giving you more control, like I said, of the sound envelopes, the harmonics, the modulator, the LFOs, and pretty much you could kind of just tailor the sound specifically to, what it is that you want. And kind of moving on to the ESE, which is kind of the same thing. I keep forgetting the what's the name, but it's a ensemble synthesizer. So this is more of like, kind of like more synthetic, like pad, string, synth, brass type stuff. But as far as like, like I said, instead of you going and buying, like one of these keyboards or something that I got, like you got all these sounds like right in there. So if you like when we go into the making aspect of it, we'll definitely have all these to reference. So, it's like a nice warm sounding sound. It doesn't have as many sounds as the other ones, but like I said, it gets straight to the point. And it has the same features as far as like the cutoff. You could control the actual sine wave. So you could pretty much tailor the sound custom to, however you want it. That was the volume. But the release, attack, it's pretty much gonna get the sound, sounding however you want. But I would say, just kind of play around with them, because a lot of these, it's really more an acquired kind of sound that you're looking for. But synths are, they make up majority of Logic. Like I said, the ESM, which is the monophonic synth. So it's just kind of, letting like one, it's kind of like one, so you kind of can't do two at one. And then it kind of had, like I said, it's all the same as far as like, they all kind of work the same as far as like with the cutoff, the resonance, and all that stuff. So it's just really more what you looking for. You know, if you really want like a fat bass, you know, you could definitely use something like this to really get a nice, you know, thick sound. I'm sure it sound warm. I got on headphones, so I can't even really hear when I get down here. I can't even really hear. But like I said, this is definitely like, you know, super warm. You know, so once you start looking into that, and we're still in the user default. You know, so once you kind of come in here and pick whichever one you want, because that's kind of what they did. Like they're basically picking one of these and moving this over and telling you this is the sound. You know what I'm saying? So really more sound design like I forget your name, but because I don't say Jason, like Jason was talking about, sound design is more so dealing with stuff like this, you know, creating synths and actually creating sounds from nothing. You know, obviously like movie sound effects, scores, and stuff like that. So, you know, and that's what you will hear a lot. Because it'll be like, you'll kind of, do I want more of this or do I want more of this? You know, and then you just kind of got to pick what type of wave you want. Like, you want a sawtooth? Do you know, it's just different stuff, you know. Then, you know, the polysynth, you know, I mean, not the polysynth, the polyphonic, the ES polyphonic. But like I said, they all got different sounds. So like I said, I don't know specifically what y'all want. But I know as far as like with the pop stuff, you could definitely use all this stuff and then just throw like, you know, some modern drums with it. You know, and these are just the default patches, you know. But like I was showing y'all, with this, you could pretty much keep it on the default and just pick whatever, you know, because all they did, you know, if I was to just show that and then just kind of go back to it, even though it's not going to do it, I would have to cut it off, then do it. But if I was to just go back to it and you look at the actual default, it already has some physical changes that they've made to it. So, you know, I would just like kind of look and see what they got going on, because these are the different waveforms as far as like how the sound comes, and you know, this is what you're hearing. You know, so if you don't want that, you know, or if going back to what I was my point, if you go look at say the fat square bass, you see that just moved. You know, so instead of that being like this and like this, you know, and then you could just kind of look and see like Outlaw, that's like that. So, and that's more of like, you know, something that I think Jason, you could take advantage of, you know, as far as like just doing the sound design aspect of just creating original patches from the original sounds that Logic already has, you know, because I could get into third party stuff, but that's a whole, you know, that's a whole nother thing, you know, like as far as like Omnisphere and Nexus and all that type of stuff, because Contact, you know, that's really like super sound design. You know, this stuff is just like straight out the box, you know, like if you just have like, say, a laptop and you could just like really get it in. So I'm gonna just speed through this. Like I said, this ES1 is pretty much their synthesizer one. I kind of like it because it got the oscillators. You could kind of make a sound super thick, quick. You know, then going back to the waves, you could kind of just pick your sound and make it how you want. And then it's a mix between the two, which kind of make it, you know, kind of make it unique. Then going back to what I was saying, just adding more stuff in it, because it's really more just blending stuff from like using the cutoff with the resonance, the attack. I mean, it all really depends on the music, you know. Like I could do it and show you, but it all really depends on the context of what music that I'm specifically trying to put it in, you know. But having access to all these tools like this amplifier up here, like you can actually control, you know, the amplification of the sound, and now it's more lower, you know, versus it being up here being super high. You know, I mean not high, but you know what I'm saying as far as like resonating more. But you feel me? Like, so if you're trying to make like a super 808, you could do, you know, stuff like this and kind of, you know, cut the cutoff down and just kind of really blend it to make, here, let's see. I can't really hear it because I got these headphones. And once it gets so low, I can't, like, I hear it. Like, I hear, like, a remnant of it down there. But, like I said, just really more so creating the sound from what you want. You know, like I said, they got, I didn't even go into all the sounds, but they all have presets, you know. But going back to my point, every preset is something that they made from moving them knobs around. So you could pretty much move all these knobs around and create whatever it is you're trying to create. You know, it's just obviously you got to have patience, you know, and most people kind of just like the patches, you know, kind of just set up, you know. This is they synthesizer too, which is kind of the same synth, but it's more, you know, it's kind of a little more advanced, couple more controls, more features, but it definitely has a lot of the same sounding sounds, and they're pretty good. You know, like I said, as far as like you could control everything, as far as like this is the wave. Well, that's on one, so this has three different wave envelopes. You know, so if I cut them two off, I was dope how I did that. Say I put two on now. And like I said, this is like kind of advanced stuff, but like when I first started out, like I guess making music, like I never really. I mean, I still don't like super mess with all that stuff like how I should. But like I said, when I first started out, like I definitely wasn't into, you know, messing with nothing. I was kind of trying to find the same patch that, especially if I had like a keyboard that, you know, somebody made something that was on, I would try to use that sound just how it is, you know. But it's like once you kind of get into the sound design, you could cut two off. You know, you could cut that, you know. But it's more of just like programming and using like the performance modes of these virtual synths. Cause it's like if you was to buy a keyboard, it's software, you know. So this is it, you know. And I'm gonna get off this Evoc, you know, the poly synth. This like it's a lot of synths, you know, like for real. Like, and I don't want to be taking up y'all time just showing y'all synths, but I would say like the majority of Logic, I would say is synths. I think it's like 13. I don't remember how many, but synths is your thing. Definitely check them out. And then just to kind of close it, I mean the retro synth is pretty dope because it's like I said, it's a combination of, you know, like super old school meets modern, you know, so it's gonna kind of give you all those sounds, like a Moogie sounding bass. And then obviously going back to what I was saying, you could kind of create whatever you want with the, you know, these actual presets are, they look more modern, but it's just really knowing what do you want to mess with, you know. So this is more of the shape, you know, as far as like just the way the sign is going, you know, and it's like two of them, and I don't even think that second one is on. But for the most part, just really dealing with your envelope and your filter, if you even gonna filter it, you just kind of gotta have it set up, and it's gonna, do the sound however like now it's gonna kind of go a little longer, you know. I mean, and I don't even like use this like this because I actually will put plugins on it. But for the most part, you could kind of just make the sound, like I said, however you want, like for real. Like kind of just dealing with the attack, which is how fast it's hitting, the decay, how fast it is, decaying and dying out, and the release, you know, and the sustain. Like once you basically get the sound envelope how you want it, that's pretty much it. Then lastly I'll show you sculpture, which is kind of what I would say, it's like alchemy. I would say out of all of them, I kind of like, I mean, basically because they look, they're visually, and they definitely have like next next level sounds. And that's just like I said, the preset, modeled bass. Here, let's see what the sub bass sounds like. But like I said, you definitely have these if you have Logic, because this comes stock with Logic. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you could pretty much load all of these up. If you don't have it, all you would have to do is just hit the button so it would download it. It's a nice harp. But like I said, this one is definitely, I like this one and Alchemy, but my RAM be tripping. But yeah, let me go to the back to the PowerPoint. But let me know what y'all think, cause I got more, but I'm gonna just go to the PowerPoint so y'all can see. I don't know if it's, did it do it? There we go. So yeah, the next one, like I said, is gonna be virtual instruments, and these are all the names of those. If y'all didn't know, you know what I'm saying. But the main ones, like I said, Alchemy, and it's more advanced to get into the sample manipulation. And I mean, I actually use Omnisphere for that, as far as like dealing with granular synthesis. But that's a whole nother, story. And then as far as like with sculpture, just doing the modeling synthesis to where there's just modeling replicator synthesizers. But let me load up this other session. Virtual instruments. And do you all use any synths, or did you all use any of those synths or hear of those, or do you all use any virtual synths, or what plugins do you use for sounds? Because I could show you the ones that I use, but I definitely use some of these. Yeah, well, you definitely need to look into the synths, because the synths are, I mean, I would say that's the bulk of the sounds. Obviously, these virtual instruments are a lot, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I love Alchemy, you know. I mean, and I don't use it a lot like that, but it's it's definitely something that I go to if I want something specific, as far as like a pluck, or like, like a specific arpeggio, you know. But here, as far as like with the virtual instruments, and I mean, I could definitely send you all some other virtual instruments as well, cause I don't.
even really like use, well, not in this form. They're more of sound fonts. But like I said, I was using those when I really first got started, you know. But the first one, like I said, is the studio horns. And man, I mean, really, the horns and the strings, like the articulations, that's pretty much it. And you could cut the humanize on. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want it to sound realistic, you know, I mean, in this sense, sustain now. So if I do like say a short, like I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. I like that, and then just kind of what's another? I mean, really, it got all of them staccato. You know, what I would do is I would like layer them. I mean, I actually have another plug-in in Contact that I use that does this, but I actually do the same thing. Like, obviously, if you need horn parts and you need multiple parts, you will obviously have one each player playing different. So you could just have one as a marcato long. Then you will obviously have one as a staccato. Then you might have one as a expressive long. I mean, a medium. You know. Damn. I was remembering the song. But it's like really just kind of getting, and I got it on humanize. So if you take it off, but the humanize really give it that feel, and the monitor, it really just depends on what type of sound you looking for, you know. But not to be in these all day, but passionate. It's just different expressions. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, I actually never used passionate. For real, a lot of times I be figuring stuff out, like for real. The falls, I really just love the falls and the glides. But going back to what I was saying, like as far as like you could, you know, do multiples as far as like having, the layers of horns, like if you got a horn going burp, 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 burp. I'm in the wrong key, but y'all get what I'm saying. It shows like how I'm gonna sing something like I'm finna sing the right key that I'm finna play. But anyways, y'all, I hopefully y'all get what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, this one is what did you say? I mean, the keyboard is really dependent on you, cause if you're a keyboard player, I would probably say, you gonna need at least a few octaves. Like two might be too small. Cause you only obviously you could, obviously you could go up as far as like, if say, well, hold on, I'm waiting for the sound to load. Where the sound don't even, where is this? So the sound don't even start till. But anyway, like certain sounds, like you would just pitch it up. So say like with this one, I could just go up. So now the keyboard is just stretching, I think 3 octaves. Yeah, yeah, 3 octaves. And it really just depends on what type of music specifically, you know, that you're trying to make. Like the 25 key is cool, but it's more, like I said, it has its ups and downs. Like he said, it's more. The advantages is it's portable. You could put it in your backpack, and if you got a laptop, you could be on the plane. I've done it. I've had the 25 key MPK. You know what I'm saying? And like you could be on the plane making beats. You got a little laptop and you got, like the joint is super small. So yeah, or that little micro MP thing, the one that could fit like on your hand that don't have like real keys. You know, it's just this 49 key this is too small for me. And then once I kind of got more into like trying to get better with composing music and playing the piano, and I was taking piano lessons, I had a controller and I was taking piano lessons, and I would practice and go to my lessons, and I would know like that it's not gonna work. So it all really just depends on one, what your budget is, and you could get an MPK for $100. you know like you know I got a few, I know a few different places as well that sell different things. So it really just depends on what your budget is. But but going back, to the studio strings, the studio horns is, I would say, pretty much just like the studio strings. All the controls are kind of self-explanatory. I didn't get into them, but they pretty much do what they say, you know. But for the most part, the strings is the exact same, So you could cut resonance on it, kind of just put through like a little filter on it. But this is more just like a sustaining one. So if say you want it, obviously like the staccato. So if you was and you could, and like I said, the monophonic was off, but like I definitely love these. I mean, and like I said, to keep it real, I don't use these right now, but when this was all I had, this was all I used. And I mean, they didn't even have this as far as like with the spiccato and all the different things. Like they just actually had different, strings, so you would kind of have to figure it out with yourself. But they had certain ones that were doing, these articulations, but you would just have to find it within the EXS24, which is turned into what we gonna get into on the next one is the quick sampler and the logic sampler. I mean the quick sampler and the multi sampler. But like I said, it's just more, you know, articulations. Back to the longs. I mean the falls. So imagine if you was using that horn that we just had on the other one. Is it still on it? You know, like here. I mean, just cause I don't know. I'm gonna record. Is it gonna do it? Don't look like it is. But here. hit the wrong key, but y'all get it. I like that first part. Anyways, I get sidetracked quick. But going back to the falls though, like you kind of get what I'm saying, like as far as like you layering stuff, and like what I'm learning, cause I kind of come from a music production background, so and right now I'm kind of diving more into composition, so what I'm learning is more of layering and doing more instrumentation and orchestration, you know, and that's kind of what a lot of this stuff is, and you know you don't really need per se like a super big keyboard if you kind of understand what it is you're doing, because is you just spreading it out, and if you layering it, you could all you need is whatever little octave you got, and you could just press the octave button to kind of go where you need to go. You feel me? That's a short fall. You know what I'm saying? The scoops. I really like the scoops, the falls, and the glissandos, if I'm saying that right. Ah, that's the end. You know, and I ain't even touched none of the controls, but like I said, it's really, it's really tailored towards what you're doing. Slow scoop. So it's that was the key I was doing. That one is pretty dope. Like I said, the ascending sustain, I think that's the one that I actually like the descending sustain though. But crescendo. But it's more of just like I said, if you have a musical background and you understand what some of this stuff is, because they just articulations as far as like from music theory, you know. It's just gonna be like a little symbol on the sheet music. Just showing you how to play it. Forte piano, you know what I'm saying? Slow one and a fast one. Then the glissando. Like I say, that one is pretty decent too, you know. And just like going up to the one going up. So it's you know, like I say, you can mess with them too. I didn't, but yeah, it's tripping on the thing. But and then my favorite, well, I like the trill too, the Pitsy. Like I said, that sound is just amazing. And you said the cello, yeah, because I didn't even go to the sounds. Because going back to go back to the horn, I didn't even go through them. Like they actually have presets as well. And going back to, I didn't even like go through them because it's more so like, if say now I'm on the cello, and it's kind of the same stuff, but it's the same as far as like with the articulation. So now, well, I have it on Pitsy. But if say say you wanted to do, well, I want to show you the tremolo and the trill. Let's go up one. And here, let's actually put it on some. I'll show you the trill too. And just the. So if you was. That's the only thing about the little keyboard. I can't spread. I gotta like, play together. Then the keyboard, certain octaves. That's the one thing about with these keyboards. Certain octaves don't actually play. Once you get up so high. But yeah, I would say the next one is the B3, which is pretty much a organ, But like I said, you have multiple controls. So when you go to the organ, but did you get the cello too? I ain't mean to just jump to the other one, but yeah, they have multiple ones as far as like with the horn as well as the string. So obviously we'll have trumpets and trombones and tubas and everything. But for the most part, like I was saying, all of these presets that they have programmed are pretty much just you know, they just mess with them. So I would say just kind of just look at whatever sound it is that you like and kind of just look at the presets, and then kind of just try to emulate that in your own, like just going to the default, you know. But as far as like they got the nice little B3. And I mean, you got a lot of different effects as far as like with the rotor, the cab, I mean, we could go in on this for, but I mean, all of these I could kind of just really, I'm kind of just going over them so we could kind of just, I could show you how I would use them or somebody would use them in a modern day scenario, you know what I'm saying? As well as just giving you a brief overview as far as like if you never even knew about it. Because most people, they don't even use, some of this stuff. Like as far as like some of the sounds and different plugins and stuff like that. But once you see the possibilities that's right there, like, so check out Jimmy's organ. And I think that MPK got a modulation wheel. But with the modulation wheel, you know, yeah. But like I say, the organ is pretty good, but it's more like I said, depending on what specifically you looking for. All the actual knobs and rotors, I can't really super get into them, but I would just say try to, if you're looking for a reggae one, I think they got a reggae organ, and most of their stuff is pretty much on point. Like like. that's why I say they all they sounds are pretty much, I would say, hands on. Like they killing them as far as like, like, cause they just giving you what you need straight out the box, you know, like, and it's exactly what it say it is, like a vintage collab, not to say you need a collab, but you might be trying to get Stevie Wonder, you know. I don't know the song, but then you really could make the sound, like, as far as like cutting, adding some brilliance, adding some treble. You know, so like I said with this one, and I'm just in the preset, so you can cut the damper on, you know. It has a volume control, you know. And then just, going to the other ones, they got the electric piano, you know what I'm saying? So you could get like a B3. I mean, not a B3, like a 73, like a suitcase. Trying to think of some. Sound like the. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but like I say, that got that nice R&B sound. Then if you really want to, cut the rate up in the tremolo, make it actually ring off a little more. Like, I don't know if y'all hear the difference. Here, I'm gonna cut it. Do the 8 now. So it's like it's giving it more cycles as far as like, I don't know. It's just ringing a little more at 16. Like, but yeah, I would say that sound is definitely, nice and vintage, depending on what you're looking for. Hey, actually got a Wurlitzer up in there too. That ain't the. It's a swirling whirly. Where's the? They got a watery rose. Like I said, it just got some nice little sounds. You got effects. Could drive it, switch the tone up, kind of emphasize on certain frequencies. Cut the gain up. That's without. So with it. Got a phaser. Could add color to it. Increase the rate. You know what I'm saying? Going back to the tremolo, Oh, but it's more just like I said, just really making the sound out of whatever you want. Then they got a Mellotron, you know. X these boys out. And the Mellotron is, you know, I like it. I haven't used it a lot. Not this one particular, because I actually have another Mellotron. But it's they do the same thing, but it actually allows you to have two different sounds, you know. So you could kind of like if you look how I got a female choir and I got a boys choir. And you know here, I'm gonna just do them opposite. And you could blend it. I got the boys up 12, which they should probably be down. But you, but it's like you making the sound. You know, you could put them at unison, and that's just one sound. You know, it's crazy. But like I said, you have it's not a lot of sounds, but like I said, you could put this GC3 brass. You know, then you could blend, you know. So if you wanted that low, you wanted this high, or if you wanted to change this to the female choir, you could have more of the females, you know. Yeah. As far as like when you record, yeah. Like if I was to just record, you load it up in the edit. Yeah, but yeah, it pretty much load up right as MIDI. But yeah, that's the Mellotron. And then like I said, last I'm gonna show y'all these samplers and then could make some and then I'll let y'all go on about y'all business. But yeah, the Mellotron is, you know, it's pretty dope because like I said, you could kind of make your own sounds, you know. Like a lot of people like using samples and stuff like that, but once you start, you know, messing with your own sounds and creating your own stuff, like that's I would say that's pretty much where it's at. You know, I'm hitting the key, but for the most part, these are all the drum machines and all that. So this thing didn't even go live. But, so let's see. All right, so let me load up this the drums. Give me 1 second. But I would say as of I don't know when, but they just recently updated it. Like earlier this year, you know, when they basically killed they killed the EXS24, which was the sampler that I used in Logic, and they incorporated the sampler and the quick sampler, which is basically the same thing, you know. But these are uh the Logic drums as far as like drum machines, samplers, and you know Apple loops are kind of, you know, I would kind of consider them a part of it as well. We'll get into them. So the sampler, like what I kind of like about it, and here I'll show you drummer, and then I'll just show you sampler. So to kind of go back, drummer. I don't know if you all use drummer, but I forget when they incorporated drummer in, but if y'all see these people over here and you see these different genres, so they have, rock, alternative, songwriter, R&B, electronic, hip hop, percussion. So I know you were saying you were doing pop. So, and I mean, let's see, what kind of pop? Indie pop? Oh yeah, my bad. I ain't do it. Thanks for telling me. I ain't pressed the button. Bam. So, but like I was saying, the drummers, cause y'all didn't see that. I was in sampler, but going back over here, you have the different genres of, music, as far as like, we got percussion, hip hop, electronic, R&B, songwriter, alternative, and rock, so you could kind of pretty much pick, what type of drummer that you want to hire, and like obviously if you see behind me, I have a drum set, and like mic and drums, and obviously getting a drummer and all that it's a lot, as far as like with EQing and like bleed, and I mean it's a lot. So to basically have access to one of these drummers, so I would say, just for the sake of the sample, I would pick, I don't know, I'll just pick anything. Let's say indie pop. I don't know. But once you load it up, it's going to basically load the drummer, All right, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for showing up. I'll send you a email following up. But thanks for staying as long as you did. But going back to what I was saying, as far as like with the drummer, you basically come right here, and once you click it, you pretty much have this drummer, So say these are the different beat presets, as they call them. So they don't have many. And the way I actually use this, I kind of cheat, because I wouldn't want them to do, like, I kind of get them to pre-program it. So I would kind of cut them all off and just have like the hi-hats. Then I would make one with just the kick. Then I would make one with just a snare, or just with toms, or just with, because you very easily could do it, like boom, boom. And then all you would have to do is, obviously create the drummer tracks. Let me stop it. But once you go in, you could kind of come in here, and I have that one as the hi-hats. So now I have this one as the kick, and now I have this one as the toms. So now I've just created a drum kit. I mean, and it might not sound the greatest, because like I say, I don't like they toms sometimes. But at the end of the day, my point is, you could kind of just go in here, and like with the hi-hats, as you see, it says loud, soft, complex, and simple. So now they're going to be real kind of low. Feel me? And then now it's, you could just really kind of, you could really just tailor them how you want them. So if I was to go back here, make the kick actually a little, make the kick a little, because you pretty much controlling the sounds, as far as like you could add fills. I mean, you could make it do different variations as far as like switching this from here. But my point, so my point now that I have. Let me load that back up. Make sure I had that. I had extra chat out. But my point is to load up the actual sampler. You know, I would use the multi-sampler, but just to show y'all, this is what the EXS24 was. You know, as far as like the sounds. You know, so and looking like it want me to download some stuff. But let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna go to my favorite piano, but I actually don't see it in here. But anyway, it's the same thing. These are the sounds that are in this sampler, which you could use it, you know what I'm saying, like the actual sampler, which I'm gonna show you that on this quick sampler. I'm gonna just load a random MP3 file in here. I don't know if you all deal with sampling and stuff like that, but for the most part, let's see. Alright, we'll just throw this one in there. What is it doing? Alright. So if you look and see, it has the two different options as far as like optimized and original, you know. So you could, you know, either one. You know, optimize is obviously gonna optimize it a little more for whatever you're doing specifically. Yeah, did it load? And original is kind of gonna just keep it. But I kind of like this because it works like another thing that I use. And I mean, Eli, you said you DJ. I use a Serato sample. So this kind of works like that. So here, I just loaded that song in, and you can put it into slice mode, and then now it just chopped the song up, you know. So you could just basically, you can go off different ones. Like you can kind of go in here and manually put it in, but it's chopping on the transients. You could actually chop it on beat divisions, you know, equal divisions, as far as like, you know, like it's basically, you know, chopping it according to the song, you know. So you kind of just got, obviously the first thing you would have to do is cut the polyphony down to mono, you know. I'm trying to get it to 1/4. Thing is tripping. I mean 1/16. This thing is tripping. But anyway, I actually don't never do it like that. I normally would either do it to the transients, and then like I said, you could move the sensitivity knob up to kind of get your chops. But the way that I kind of like to use it is I would just manually do it. So then you could kind of just go in. Let me stop that drum track. But you could just manually go in and just like hit all the spots. So now it's starting at, this one is C, you know. Wait, is it? Yeah, it should be. Yeah. So say if you just wanted the, you know, so it's like you kind of really just going in and sampling it and like, you know, putting the chops specifically where you want. So then you kind of have, you know, it's like instead of you just letting it randomize and do it, I mean, I'm kind of randomizing it myself. But now you kind of have, these chops to where it's like, well, that one. Then the other thing I was gonna say that I love, you could just hit the follow tempo. I think it's finna play it, but like. Anyway, that ain't a good example. I don't like that. But like I was saying, you could pretty much load anything in here. Like here, I'm gonna just load something else. Excuse me. And I'm more just randomly grabbing something. But once you load it in, and I'm gonna just grab it and just let it chop it. Cause when you're dealing with something like this, as far as like where you trying to like physically, where you trying to like physically chop certain parts, you might want to go to another external software or something like that to kind of chop it yourself, or you might want to just chop it right in the timeline, because you could do that as well. And you could obviously import this audio in there and right click it, and it's gonna create it into a instrument as well, but it's only gonna do it according to how you set it up. And it's basically based on the same things that's in here, as far as like with the beat, with the transients, the beat divisions, and the equal division. So if say I was to just for the most part, don't sound like it's on, but for the most part, like I was saying, with these is really like kind of specifically finding the chop that you want, like. And a lot of times if I'm like trying to chop something, I would, like, if it's just say, yeah, let's take that off, because more than likely I'm gonna manually chop, and just find like a spot that I would like, and then I would just kind of go from there, and just kind of looking at it like, it's too long of a chop. Make that. But my point of that though, like, you could, with these, you could pretty much kind of, create whatever it is you want. But I would say you kind of need to know the spot that you want, because you could kind of just blindly let them do it, but they're more so not gonna, they not gonna like find the spot, So I would just, if I knew I wanted a specific spot, I would just kind of, use it like that, knowing that. And you obviously could optimize it for looping, and you also could set it to, cut off, as far as like with the sound to where it's like it'll stop playing when you hit the key. I think I just moved the tempo up. But I would say with this one it's more like with that one it's more like I would say it's a lot of preference, you know, cuz I really use it a lot, but I would say I I kind of I use Serato more, but I mean I love it, you know. I actually started when I first started doing videos. I was using Serato with this, and I would use this to sync up the break beats. And then if it was a specific sample, I would just load the sample in Serato because Serato gives me the sample and the key. And I mean not the sample, it gives me the tempo and the key of the song. So I would just put a sample in Serato, get the tempo, and then load up a break beat up in here, and it would just work seamlessly. But yeah, I would say moving on to like the drummer, which I kind of showed you, but just to kind of piggyback and go back into the drummer, like I was saying, it has multiple players. So if I was to just delete these and just kind of go back to this one, just delete that, you could basically go in here. I know you would, because I was going to pick this pop percussion. Uh, it's pretty good. I definitely use the drummers a lot, as far as like, I use Isabella a lot, you know. Cause it's just some nice like Latin percussion that's just in the background, and it sounds excellent. You know what I'm saying? And then going back to what I was showing you with the other ones, you basically could pick what you want. So if you don't want the cowbell, you don't want the block. So now you just got a clap, and you got the congas. So say you just wanted the congas, you know. Then obviously you see how it got that tambourine in there. Say you didn't want that. Because a lot of times what they do is, they throw a bunch of other stuff in there. So if say you were using one of these and you didn't want something, once you finish with it, you're going to end up converting it to a MIDI region. And once it converts to a MIDI region, now you have the actual file. So if you didn't want it, or if you wanted to, change, this to that, I should have put it sooner, but but you could kind of just, you could really do it how you want, you know. I mean that didn't sound good, but you get it. You feel me? And it's just more of, they have multiple drummers, and just to kind of, is it gonna undo? But going back to the other drummers, obviously like the hip hop, which I probably start the beat with the hip hop one just to really get it going. But like with this one, it's pretty much, like I said, it's pretty much straightforward, you know. Did I switch it? Nah. So say you pick one, change drummer. This actually the boom bap dude. And like I said, you could kind of go in here and switch the drums how you want. Like I used to mess with these with the samples a lot. That's the sound. That's the sound. It sounds super crazy now. Did it chop? Nah. But yeah. was just showing you that. Sound crazy, but that's the sound like super duper sped up. But anyway, going to the next one, the drum kit designer, which is really more like a acoustic kit to whereas you could kind of create whatever, you know. I mean, and with these, you kind of would not necessarily need to know what you want, but you could basically say you want this punchy one. Then you could tune it, dampen it, add gain, take away gain. But yeah, like I said, let's dampen it a little bit. And then it's like you could switch the toms. Like I mean, you could pretty much pick everything, as far as like every piece that's in the drum kit. Like you kind of just go in and actually sample it, and create it and make it better, you know, from the cymbals. Yeah. Where's this thing at? Yeah. There was a thing where I could do it for the toms and the crashes and the snare. Yeah. So you could kind of just tailor make you know what I'm saying? Yeah, definitely. But going back to all the different, effects and stuff like that, like, you know, there's so much stuff that you could do to the drums. And I wouldn't per se use like these, I would kind of use, like, I kind of use a hybrid. Like, sometimes if I wanted to sound live, but most of the time I'm doing them all separate. I'll do a hi-hat on one, then do a snare on one, then I'll show you once I get to the next one. 'Cause yeah, it's 5:30. I gotta get to it. But yeah, so like I said, with the drum kit designer, you could basically make, like I said, your drum, as far as like, you know, you tailoring the drum to what you want. And then on the flip side, you got the drum machine designer. You kind of doing the opposite to where, well, I wouldn't call it the opposite, but you could kind of like import any file, let's see, just onto, like I have a couple on here. But say I wanted to throw another kick, which would be right there. It say it should be a snare, but just for the sake of this, bam. So say I throw another kick. Yeah, and I could send y'all this drum kit too. I actually been giving it to like people who. But with these, you kind of just would be taking, any drums, and like programming them. And I mean, it don't even necessarily have to be drums. It could be any like sample. You could put a vocal on here. 'Cause I think I got, let's see, I think I got a vocal. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know what it is.
First to your home,
It's too much.
you're there.
Yeah, they way too. But you could throw one of them chops on there. It's actually going. It's not gonna be a one shot. It's gonna play it like real long. You know. And then you could. Let's see what it do. D2. You gotta cut the polyphony off though. Yeah, but I would say like the fact that you could just kind of quickly throw anything on these and like create you know a custom drum key, which is I mean this is what I do on the MPC, but the fact that you don't need the MPC, and I mean they actually just did this, which I was kind of mad because for years I was messing with Logic and they didn't do it, and I had to do it in the EXS 24, and then they got rid of it, So yeah, but I would say definitely mess around with this and kind of look at the different modes that you could put it in, because it has the sampler within here, so it would just be like setting up the sample. So it's like now I have that same sample, it's chopped up on. Wait, hold up. Wait, no, I got it in the slice mode now. But I guess it would want me to convert this to a sampler track. But I like how I did that because it actually kind of, separated these. But if I wanted to, really I gotta wait till it finds the one. So far as to. But anyways, yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the drum machine designer. And then I would say the drum synth. I actually love this kick. I remember when I did my first first webinar. I had loaded this up. Somebody was like, "What's that?" For real. Cause it's real. It's real low. And I think I pitched it down. No, I didn't. But you kinda can't hear it now. But yeah, this definitely comes with it. And then you could add shape to it. Let's put it back regular. Let's actually put it down 24 just to see. But you could, like really once you start dealing with the harmonics and the frequency, and this is a drum, is what they call it, a drum synth. It's like a super heavy kick, Same thing with the snares. You could basically create whatever sound you want, So messing with the pitch, messing with the tone and the body, So if I add more tone, take away the tone, take away the body, it's gonna have less characteristics. Add dirt to it. So that's how you kind of get those drum tones, Just really messing around with it, Like I said, it got the airy snare. but you could try to take air away. That's really more the thing, just kind of messing around with it. You see the air is in the body, so not just messing around with the tone. I mean, I don't really like it, but you see how quickly I done kind of just And like I said, for the most part, they got some nice little times. I definitely never use these, but I would definitely say you could find a use out of them. I would probably lower them down. Probably even 24. But yeah, and it, I don't know if y'all know, y'all might know, y'all might not know, but 12 minus 12 or plus 12 is an octave. That's why I keep going like in increments of 12. You know what I'm saying? But and that's that's gonna kind of get the sound obviously lower or higher. You know what I'm saying? Mess around with the tone, add noise, take noise away. Sound like a dance track. Sound like a reggae track now. But yeah, like I was saying, like just really messing around with this and messing with the different pitches. Because going back to what I was saying, you could kind of make whatever sound you want, And with these, they don't really have, that many control functions. So, decay, you know. So that's just gonna be a regular. That's just a hat, and it sounds super duper low. Add some body to it. That's not giving it nothing. Switch the tone. So now you basically going through different variations of hi hats right here. Then if you want to, take it down or up to kind of thin it out. And then I would say lastly, we got Ultra Beat, which is kind of, I call it, it's similar to Drum Machine Designer. It's just not as visual. You know what I'm saying? Because it, like I said, Logic, hold up. Because I was saying Drum Machine Designer allows you to basically program your drums as far as like the MPC, which it does, but Ultra Beat did it as well, but it's not as user friendly. And if you look at it, it actually comes with drums. But they're pretty, yeah, but some of them are good, but like I said, they have a lot of different presets, but my main thing I was going to say, they have drag and drop samples, which what I was saying was kind of like this, because you literally, you're going to see, I'm going to probably, so with this one, whichever one you on, so say I'm on sample 1, I'm going to load back up my drums, I'm going to throw a kick on here. Wow, where did it go? Here, I'm going to throw it up here because I don't see that one. Where's, okay. So, bam. So you could basically drag the sample. You see how I have a wave file, and I drop it right here. And it should load. There you go. Wait, nah. Why my sample ain't load? Yeah, hold Okay, let's try this again. But like I was saying, you basically grab a sample. I have the Finder window open with another file, and once you drag it in there, it should load. Anyways, you can hit this drop arrow and hit load sample, and I'm gonna just go to this drum kit. I think I was loading up this kick. So here. So say you load that. I don't know why I'm not hearing the sound. I don't know. I'm hearing that. So let's see. I don't even see it. Anyways, normally you would just load a sample and it would pop up. Here, I'm gonna just click something. Yeah, there it is. Then, like I said, if you wanted to go here, you would obviously have to follow which one you're doing. I'm gonna do it the long way just to do it. I'm gonna throw a snare on this one. And I mean, obviously, you would do this for every sound you want, which could be quite tedious. So I never really messed with it. Then, like I was saying, I use the MPC. Like I could just literally drag a whole folder full of sounds on a pad on the MPC, and it's gonna put all those files, on all the pads. And the MPC gives me 8 banks of 16, so that's 128 sounds. So go figure. So I mean, I just literally just grab the sounds and put them in here. And like I said, I could definitely give y'all this drum kit. This is actually my first drum kit that I made. I was supposed to make the second one, just never did. But yeah, I would say that kind of does it for the drums. So just to show y'all a little PowerPoint and stay on schedule. Uh, Y'all got any questions? I know Eli was saying he wanted to see about sends and buses and auxes. I'm gonna kind of get into that once I go to load the joint up. But so yeah, where's this share? Bear with me. Thank y'all for sticking with me. The other dude dipped out, which is cool. I mean, it ain't cool, but I ain't tripping. But like I said, so once you got all of this, I kind of call that, you know, ideas and technology meets creativity. Cause it's like, say you got some ideas, or you got a little, melody or something that you harmonizing or something like that, or a sample or something specifically that you want, you gotta take advantage of this technology and you got to get creative with it. And this is kind of what I break down calling the process, as far as like, dealing with the sequencer and setting up the tempo. That's what to me, I feel that's the first thing, that you kind of really need to do to kind of set the tone and really get everything straight. And, come with the I mean, it really depends on how you feel. Come with the melody and the drums and the instrumentation, or come with the drums first, or then come with the instrumentation. But for the most part, it's really depending on how you feel. And then once you have all of that, you kind of get to the arrangement. So here I'm finna load up this joint. I don't even know which one it is, but I'm just gonna kind of do something from scratch, just using all the same stuff, and just kind of show you the things that, yeah, this ain't the one. This actually was the one that I did the last time I did this. Give me 1 second. Is there something on this one? Yeah, this is another one. So when you all do production, do you all do you all play it or do you all use like, like MIDI files? Like are you all cheating or you all doing it like when my guy told me I still make beats analog as far as like I'm playing stuff. Cuz a lot of people draw beats. A lot of like new new age producers, like they're just drawing beats. They don't even, mess with the keyboard. So what do you all do? Do you all draw? Okay. Have you ever drawn a beat? Or do you know what drawing a beat is? Yeah. Yeah, drawing. I mean, I'm going to show you drawing cuz like I said, it helps and I'll show you why I use it. I think this was yeah, hold up. I'm going to just make a blank session and share it. So here, we finna get here, don't save. Yeah, drummer is the truth. And it'll definitely save you as far as like doing pop stuff. Like I'm telling you, you'll find some stuff. And even just really getting a bunch of like third party like, drum, like loops, sounds and sample packs. That's what a lot of people are using, you know. Let's see. So yeah, I would say the sound packs, those are I mean that's kind of what I've been trying to get into. I just haven't had the time to like do it. But for the most part, let's see. So just thinking like I would probably use something like Alchemy just to get, you know, to get something. Like I could throw drummer on just but most of the time I don't really like drummer. Like it's cool. Like for one thing, I don't really be wanting drummer to do all my drums because like I could do drums too, you know. But if I was to just, it depends on what type of music I'm making, because like I said, I run a recording studio, so some clients that I deal with, they might just want some quick like trap drums. So if say I was to load up, drummer and just pick the little trap dude, which I don't like picking him because all his drums sound the same. Like go figure. But sometimes I use just his hi-hats. Like I have a few beats where I'm just using his hi-hats. But like as soon as did I pick him? No, this is Rose. So this is I think the R&B lady. I mean it's cool, but for the most part I'm finna switch it to hip hop, to the little trap dude. Like I'm talking about all his joints sound the same. And not to say that that's bad. But sometimes we'll hear just to be quick and just to show you, like, like a lot of times I would just use just his hi-hats. You know what I'm saying? Like say them hi-hats, I mean they not the best. And then, but they'll work for right now. Then just to kind of get like a specific feel, I would go find a snare. Like I would want to use, I don't like that little ding going. But anyway, I be tripping when I be making music. Like, cause I be real specific and real precise down to, what I want. Like how that thing going, burn, I don't want that. Like it's real irritating, and I'm going already to where I shouldn't be going. But so say I'm looking for a snare. You know, I think I got a snare. I mean, it's a snare that I don't like up in my up in that drum kit designer. No, it's not. It's just in that last session. But say if I wanted to just go in and let's see, where is it? Machine design. I'm sure looking like I don't see the plug-in that I'm looking for. And so with this, I'm just gonna actually add in a snare. Like I'm not even gonna do nothing like super advanced, you know. And then I'm just gonna, all right, that snare work. I'm just gonna listen for a snare. You know. So drawing would be, well, here I'm not gonna draw yet. I'm gonna do what I call cheating. Like like I'm gonna actually just, you know, repeat that, you know, which is Command and R. Then I'm gonna select them all and hit Command and J and select all of them. So now you know what I'm saying? So if say I like that, I ain't mean to press that. Yeah, this was a Serato sample. Yeah, you see these the sounds I be using. So here, let's see. Let's go to one of these synths. Because like I said, I like to do this to show people that you could use the sounds that are yeah, let's see. I don't know. I don't really like that. I don't know. I don't like that. Let's see. I said I was going to pick the sound from Alchemy. And to kind of stick to the script, I'm not going to like make it how I normally make beats. Because when I'm making music, I kind of make it all over the place. Like I might not come with the melody, the main melody line. I might not come with it until the end, you know. It's just really going with the flow, you know. But I would say coming to Alchemy and just kind of finding like, say this motion pad, you know, something just. Let's actually try like an epic synth. Do something simple. 2 chords. G major to A minor. Super slow. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat again. Meaning this beat is really kind of simple, but a lot of people are making like super simple stuff, you know. Sound like it. Let me actually speed this tempo up, cause it's. kinda don't like the sound. But here. But going back to what I was saying with the thing, you could kind of just, now I got the sound, I could just go in and, you know, then I ain't even mess with this. You know, you got the saw, you got the combo, and you got more sign. You got more sauce. So it's like a combination of all of them that are making this physical sound. You know what I'm saying? All right, that'll do for now. So say I go to find a bass, and I don't know if you know that if you double click there, it'll make a track. And normally if you have this one highlighted, it'll make that track. But it's actually making the Serato track because that was the first track that I made. But anyway, I'm gonna go to like one of them basses. I should go to that. I keep going to my stuff, but let's go to a bass. And like I said, all this stuff is really more preference as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even necessarily have to be per se, you know, you come with this or you come with that. Yeah, my what's her name is tripping. Hold up, me. And I could kind of make it a little fatter. Let's see. Really don't like that bass. Let's see. Let's go to this resonant or the subsonic. So let's go to the subsonic. And it's more resonant. It's resonating. You know. I don't know. But a lot of times I kind of just always go through the sounds to kind of find it. And one thing I know you can do is if say I know that I wanted to just play something simple like boom, 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 or something, you know, you could just like put that down in whatever sound, you know. Like here, I'm trying to find a sound here. I actually don't like that. Like I want to just go to the sound that I normally use, you know, but just piggybacking off of this, like the drum synth that I was showing you all, I could definitely use that, as well as I could just load up a basic a drummer, because it's gonna be a sine wave, and what I do is I beef it up as far as like beefing up the low end to make it sound more like a subby 808 bass, you know. But here, just to go to that drum synth and actually just put something down, the heavy kick, and how I was saying you could pitch it down 12. So now, here, let's just record. And I could cheat again, you know. And like I said, I ain't really thinking of the aesthetics. I'm just kind of trying to put something down and just show you how to use this stuff that I was just, you know, showing you. want to add saturation to it. Mess with the tone. If you want to make it bigger, I mean, it really need some attack on it. But here, just to, you know, I mean, it's getting somewhere. But just to like kind of go to find, I keep going to the other ones, but just to kind of go to like, say like something that's not synthy, you know. Wow. It's taking up a lot of processing power. Let's try this one. Gotta wait for it to load. Yeah, these strings and the horns, they definitely take up a lot of processing power as well. Why they ain't loading? Look like. I'll do a sustain. And this why I was saying like the actual articulations. Probably I got too much RAM going. I'm recording and all. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to another plug in. But like if say I was to go, let's just try to get like a main sound, something like Sculpture. You know, obviously Alchemy and Sculpture, but these boys, I think I like that harp that I was playing with earlier. I think it's G. Wow. So another thing, if you ever get any of these messages, you could basically load up this mode and you could freeze tracks. So I'm going to end up freezing this Alchemy track, and it's like a little snowflake button. And then, hold up. What else? So I'm going to just freeze these. And then once you do, wait, I can't freeze that one. Yeah, so once you hit play, you will see what it does is actually, I hope it don't go to the end. It definitely looked like it is. Yeah, that joint is tripping. Yeah, I should have put the end point. You want to also put the end point of the song to like the end, because now it's doing all of that and I really didn't feel like waiting. So now it should play. So let's try playing that. Yeah, it sounded good earlier, but don't sound good now. But like I said, just really finding, you know, I should have put. I'm gonna just keep it simple. So 2, But going back to what I was saying, just on some, quick cheating. Yeah, I think I hit the wrong note. Yeah. Boom, boom. I don't know. But that's kind of more drawing, like. Bum, bam, bum, bum. So that looked right, but it looked like it's in the wrong spot. But anyway, like I was saying, like once you just really mess around with the sounds, you could kind of like, throw some effects on it and really get it where, let's see. So if say I wanted to switch that, you could do that, you could just switch the sound. Yeah, freeze basically takes it out of your computer memory, so it frees it up. That's why everything else is playing now. So if I wanted to freeze that one, but then I could bring the end of the track closer, to where it ends there, and then once I hit play, it'll freeze, and then you'll see that it'll freeze quick, and then that's and I don't like that sound. Yeah, I mean, once you start using like a lot of sounds, it's gonna definitely, like I got 32 gigs, which I need 64 gigs, because like I said, that's, and I don't know if you're using a laptop or what, but most laptops, the fastest they have is 16 gigs. So, the reality is, you kind of got to, optimize your processing power. But here, let's see. Because like I said, I like the drums. I want to put a kick in it, because I just got the 808, and I could show you what's the name. I'm going to throw like a little synth to accompany it, to just really, because like I said, all these sounds that's in here, like you definitely could use. Like, it's just really finding like the actual use for it, so if you wanted like a space plug, I don't know, or a pad, I think, yeah, I played this pad was I really would layer it more of like, I really would layer it with more real instruments, but for some reason my what's her name is tripping. Let's try it. So like, I would kind of like how I was saying how I layered the drums, I would kind of layer these, like, you could basically create your own quartet, and then they have the sections. I actually love the disco strings. And it'll be more of a just kind of figuring out what what type of articulation I want and what would be the layering. So if I got think I would like it scooping. Or even or just really, finding the right one, might even just be staccato. I don't know, just to do it. I messed up, but like I said, you could cheat, and I don't know if you do use quantize, but basically you could just hit, Q to quantize, and then what I do is I end up, obviously just taking this little extra part off, and then you would just hit Command and R 3 times, then put them together and hit Command and J, and now they join. Another quick tip, if say you wanted to move them up, you could actually hit Option, Shift, and up, and it'll shift them all up an octave. I meant to do it to the other one. So say, or you could hit down too. So Option, Shift, up, and now they up an octave. Or if you wanted it to go put it down an octave. And that's just on some, just doing it real quick, Then just to build and probably try to, let's go to like the Mellotron, or, cause like I say, I do a lot of layering to show you what I mean by that. That string, because I would probably just use that at the chorus or something like that. Extra chord in at the end, I might actually end up deleting that out. And same thing, hit Q, And I'm gonna throw probably a hit in and a kick and call it one. So let's see, where I'm gonna get a kick from. I'm gonna go to probably load one in that drum kit, Drum Machine Designer. Kick do I like? I'm gonna show you drawing, and then I'm gonna throw one more thing in, and then we'll call it one. Here we go. So I'm gonna just throw some little kicks in. Going back to what I was saying with the drawing, like a lot of times the way I do it, you know, like if you go up here, you got your different view modes, so you could go into custom. So the way I do like really drawing or drums, you know, I would just, it really depends on what I want. So if I switch it up to 32, as you see the what's the name switch. So if I wanted to put a, you know, and this is more drawing. Like, so when you in this mode, whatever you last touch, and if y'all see, I'm using the multi-tool. So this second one is the pencil. So when I hit the command key, it turns to the pencil. So then I could just kind of, you know, just like throw stuff in. So if I actually throw a bump, or, you know, let's see, bam, let's actually move these on this side. But you really just kind of filling, you know, you kind of just filling in the pieces to the puzzle, you know. I mean, I really don't need that. So, yeah, just to, so if I wanted a like a, you know, boom boom. So like how that one was missing the boom boom. Well, it just hit him with a bump bump bump, but you know, I could just throw this one out and that's gonna do the bump bump. Then I could, you know, it's just really like this kind of what I do when I'm drawing. You know, like just kind of going in and like just kind of filling stuff in. And the more, you know, like I say, the more you mess around with it, you will just kind of start seeing the patterns, you know, because it's really just kind of, you know, it's really just math, you know, especially once I switch it back, because we in 16th, and then if I was to take it to 8ths, you know, it's just going to be 1. So now you see that one is hitting on the off. And if I was to go to the hi-hats, you would really see that. I mean, in them, I don't like the end of them, but just for the sake of showing it, you know, like I actually delete that. Look like I got a little extra on the end. Delete that and just do a quick copy. You know, the same thing that I was saying. Cheat. But anyway, them sound like I could spend some more time on them. But for the most part, yeah. And just really kind of coming with an arrangement. So just on some being quick. You know, a lot of times, I'm going to just do it quick. But most of the times I would try to, you know, name the sounds. So that's kind of like an art. Snare. So then once I had that, I could kind of like easily make a visual arrangement because I know if it start, you know, because if I look and say that okay, this arpeggio is the main, cancel that. Yeah, I gotta unfreeze it. So, and then if I just kind of look at it on some like yeah, why is this thing tripping? Because I got the end right there. But just looking at it like on some like okay, this is the intro. This is 16 bars. This is the 8-bar chorus, and this is the beginning of the next, verse. I mean the next verse, and then this last one, I could just make a copy and take this main one out. This will be the chorus. Ah, that is tripping. Bam. So okay, and just on some quick, like this is the arrangement, and it might kind of mess up. So let's do this to make sure it's straight, cause I'm finna be freezing stuff, and you got to do all this stuff to unfreeze. Like you can't. That's another thing. If you freeze stuff, you can't. You can't. You can't like edit it without it being unfrozen. So yeah, I just bring that in there in the chorus. And I mean, and it's just really like a super rough arrangement, you know. Like I'll take that out, the 808 out. I don't even know what sound is playing. The strings is playing in the chorus. So, and for the most part, yeah, throw this freeze thing back on. It's gonna take, it's not gonna take long because it's just going right there. But give me about like 15 seconds, maybe about 20. And then once it freeze, that's because you could freeze a an arrangement as well. But going back to my point, you would have to unfreeze it to actually make edits. So if I wanted to, if I wanted to take a piece, like you gotta unfreeze it, and then you would have to freeze it again. And freezing is basically doing this process so it'll convert the actual audio you know into audio for real, so it's not taking any of your RAM. So now here's the quick arrangement. Obviously, I wouldn't have that in there. Yeah, I felt the intro. Hold up. Sometimes that's just where the inspiration be coming. Not that it was like great or nothing, you know what I'm saying? But it just sounded pretty bland right there. So I think this is enough. I think I played it better on that last part. Definitely didn't. Oh, no wonder. That's a triplet quantized. Yeah, so just on some, I use this one. It ain't the greatest. And I would end up putting like a swell right here at the beginning. Like something to, like, you know, like some type of drop and a little quick snare, you know. What is this doing? It's on some quick arrangement. And I don't know. I mean, to me, it don't really sound good because I don't like that sound. I don't like that sound. And I mean, that Rhodes is okay, but I definitely don't like that. But as far as like for the purpose of just showing y'all how to put them, you know, put them in rotation, that's kind of what I was doing. But I guess to kind of show mixing, you know what I'm saying, a little bit, and just kind of go, let's see, my mode switch. Can y'all see the mix window or nah? I know it just disappeared when I just loaded it. What about now? Yeah, let's see. Alright, so as far as with the mix, I mean this could go anyway, but for the most part, it's like you really trying to But for the most part, you really just trying to like have everything balanced, you know? So as far as using plugins that you all have, like you could basically load up a channel EQ to just kind of see what's doing what. Obviously, you see it's way too much bass, you know? So that means I could probably cut this 808 down some, as well as this kick, because that kick is, you know, really taking up all my but it's more, like I said, just really balancing and tastefully throwing effects on there. It's like, say this sound, it would sound probably better if it had like some reverb on it to, you know, give it its own like dimension or something, you know, to make it sound like it's somewhere, you know. So I mean, Logic definitely has, the stock plugins are pretty straightforward. You know, you got synthesized and you got regular, you know. So you can kind of just go in here and like, you know, go through the presets to kind of, like this one has so many spaces, you know. So I could put that one in a live chamber, you know. Wait for it to come back around. But then like piggybacking off of what Eli was asking about with the sends and stuff like that, like this is kind of some of the stuff that you would be putting on buses and sends. So it's like you would have to obviously go to all tracks. So like if you look on here, it already has some buses already set up, you know. So just really working with them. Hell, let's get rid of this. And just looking at it, all the stuff is kind of already like on certain things, you know. So when you go to the scenes, this is pretty much it. So whatever you have on, like, if you see like these tracks, bus 1, 2, and 3, you know, pretty much bus 2 and 3 have all of the, you know, they have like the reverb and the delay. And then like bus 4, it has something already like programmed into it, but that's just the actual sound. But it's like once you dealing with, you know, reverb and delay, you have multiple instances of reverb and delay, because it's like once you deal with reverb is a spatial effect, to where it's like it'll take, you know, say a vocal that you recorded, you know, in the bedroom or, you know, in the booth, and it could put it in a cathedral, or it could put it in a hall, or it could put it in a chamber, you know, and stuff like that. So you could, with the buses and the sins, instead of you like applying the reverb directly to the track, you actually, it's like auxiliary, to where it's like, you know, you could put it on multiple tracks, but you could use it through these buses and sends, you know. So if I was to, let's find something that I want to put some reverb on. So here, let's see. Just go back here and press play. So yeah, let's say the snare. This one. So y'all still see the mix window, right? So get rid of that. And there's so many tracks. My bad, I'm trying to find the track. All right. No problem. Yeah, I'm just trying to show this to him. Thank you for staying. And like I said, I'm going to send an email to follow up with some of the stuff that I said that I have for y'all. Y'all, you too. Hold on, I'm trying to actually find the snare because I'm looking in this mix window. It's real confusing. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just go in here and go to the because if you look at your tracks, here, let me actually go back out to the what's the name? So like I was saying, if you come here in your let's actually get that inspector out of there. So if you come right here, I mean the library, you will see scenes, you know, and I kind of already had the buses was already set up. So, you know, you could kind of just come in here and pick, you know, well, some of the stuff I already got stuff on it. But if you go, wait, where? I think these is already on there. So if I want to put the same reverb and delay from them, I would basically just go to bus two, and now bus two. Let me loop this snare. Excuse me. So it's kind of like that. Like instead of you putting it directly, excuse me, on it. You know what I'm saying? Most def. But did you get what I was saying as far as like with the what's the name? Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, like I say, for the most part, that was pretty much it. Like I just wanted to, go over everything with y'all and kind of, break it down. Like I said, I got another one, but like I said, that's more like advanced, kind of dealing with more what's the names, but I kind of feel a lot of people get a lot from this one. So like I say, I thank you for staying. It's been like 2.5 hours. So yeah, appreciate you. And like I said, I'm going to follow up with you, and definitely thanks for staying. And if you want to send me some music or if you got any questions, hit me up. Most definitely. And it's been real. And that was the Logic Pro X Music Producer Edition. I am Wesley Rogers, the founder of Chicago Artistic Alliance, as well as Railroad Tracks Music Academy. Signing off. Stay blessed. It's been real.